Upload. Late na naman dumadating ng mga bata.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Flavio is my dad's account because my account is not available to join, ma'am. That's why I use my father's account.
Who are you?
Jimenez po. Jimenez po. Yes, Isa Oliveira de Jesus Jimenez. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, let us continue our study with voting and apportionment. So as I've said last time, before Adamson proclaimed or maybe advised or announced that there will be no classes, no on-site classes last Friday and today, the president of the university, through his constituents, through his chairman and other administrators, asked us faculty if there are some students who are sick, faculty who are sick. And then we told them the truth, and then that's the time after an hour, President Pilario announced that it will become online today and last Friday. For that matter, in a society where decisions are made for the group, because we are in a democratic country, we arrive at the best decision possible, and we want everything to be fair. And that main vehicle is called voting. So when we do voting, bakit hindi ko nilagay dito? Kanina kinuha ko na yun hindi ko pala na-save. Okay, because it's a democratic country, we have to make sure that it must be for the people, by the people, of the people. Sandali lang Na-cut ko na yun kanina I'm just wondering how come it's not here. For the people, by the people, of the people. And this is what was said by Gettysburg, the Gettysburg Address. Because we are a government, we are a democratic country. Thus, for being a democratic country, then we should be concerned not only of ourselves, but also of the constituents. Eto. This is very important because this is a democratic country. We decide, Mr. BBM decided not only for himself, and also Mr. Father Pilario decided not only for himself, but for the goodness of his people, of his government, of his school. And how do we arrive with this? We do voting. Voting is a method, a mathematical procedure that uses preference table so that we can have a winner. But first of all, what is a preference ballot? This is a preference ballot wherein candidates are ranked from the first place to the last place. It depends on how many candidates that you have. So in this particular ballot, you could say that B has the highest vote. That's why he is ranked first. Followed by B is D, second place, A, third place, and C has the lowest number of votes. Okay, and this is what a preference table looks like. A preference table is composed of several ballots. This might be coming from precinct 1, precinct 2, precinct 3, precinct 4. And the first place votes are A, B, D, C with the following votes: 6, 5, 3, and 1. You get that? Okay, the first method is called majority rules. You should get more than 50% of the votes in order for you to be declared the winner. More than 50% of the votes will be yours para maging winner ka ng majority rules. For this example, try to count the first place votes of the following candidates. A. What about A? A first place votes will be 6 and 4. You add because that's only in the first place. Don't mind the one in the second and the third placers. So that's a total of 10. What about B? B has 5, right? C has 2. And there was no vote for D. It did not land on the first place. Since A has the total number of votes or the highest 10, now divide this by the total. 6 plus 5, 11. 11 plus 4, 15. 15 plus 2 is equal to 17. And divide 10 by 17. Is 10 plus 17 more than 50%? Can you do that for me? When you divide 10 by 17, is it more than 50%? Hello, guys? Hello? Is 10 over 17 more than 50%? Wala pa talaga magsasalita? So, hindi kayo nakikinig sa akin? O, sige bibilisan kong pagtuturo. Total naman, wala naman pala nagsasalita.
Yes po.
Pasensyahan tayo. Okay, so 10 over 17 is more than 50%. That's why A will win. For that matter, I can also say that majority rules can also be good when there are two candidates and odd number of votes. If you have more than two candidates, there is a chance that you will not get a winner. Who wins by majority rules? What is the highest number of votes in this particular preference table? What is the highest number of votes and to what candidate does it belong? The highest number of votes is 6, and that belongs to candidate letter A. But check the total number of votes. Add all the votes, 6 plus 5, 11, plus 13, 14, plus 1, 17. And you have to divide 6 by, is that 17 or 15? 6 divided by 15. Is 6 divided by 15 a majority? I don't think so. Since it's not a majority, I cannot say that A wins. A did not win by majority because the number of votes of A is not more than 50%. If I divide 6 by the total number of votes 15, it does not equal to more than 50%. If that's the case, then we can have some other voting system. Like what is used in the land is what you call plurality method. Plurality method is you just count the total number of votes. Count the highest number. You don't need to divide this by the totality. And one is called, and this is very famous in the land. This is how we elect our public officers. Okay, that's what COMELEC does, the plurality method. And moreover, they say plurality means more votes than any other, but majority means more than 50%. Every majority is a plurality. However, not every plurality is a majority. Who do you think is the winning candidate in this preference table? Is it A, B, or C?
A po.
A. 14 is the highest. You don't need to divide this by the total. But A will not win by majority, right? Because if you divide A, 14, divided by 37, it is not a majority. There can be a plurality winner, but no majority winner. And they said that plurality is vulnerable to strategic voting. What is strategic voting? You have your preference, but when you this then but later on you decided to change your preference because your preference or your candidate has no chance of winning. So you try to vote for someone you like less. Just like before, I was really voting for Miriam Defensor, but the Defensor was so frail while she was campaigning. So I decided to vote someone who I know has a chance to win and I like less. So I voted for Mar Rojas. Sadly, hindi rin nanalo si Mar Rojas. Okay, so that's it. That's what we mean by plurality is vulnerable to strategic voting. And by the Gibbard-Satterthwaite's theorem, it says no voting system is unaffected or resistant to strategic voting. Ibig sabihin nun, hindi maapektuhan ng strategic voting ang mga methods natin. Ano naman ang ibig sabihin ng plurality runoff? Plurality runoff, if you have the majority, if you have the absolute majority of top two vote getters voting for someone who is not known will not get an effect. The effect is not, will not be felt. It will not affect the number of votes of your winning candidate. Example, if you try to vote, diba, everybody knows naman in the recent election, we had Lenny and Bongbong. Lenny and BBM. Okay, they are the top two vote getter. We know it's gonna be Lenny or BBM. If I vote for Isko Moreno, the vote of Isko Moreno will not affect these two. Hindi matitinag ang mga boto nila. You can vote for Isko as long as you want. But the votes of Lenny and BBM will not be affected. This is what we mean by plurality runoff. If there are two top vote getter, the vote of your to someone you like less will not be affected, okay, by the votes of the top two vote getter. Condorcet method. What about Condorcet method? Condorcet method is a one-on-one contest. Okay, just like BBM. BBM won all other candidates. In order for you to be called a Condorcet winner, you should beat all other candidates in the battle. Just like BBM, he competed and he voted against BBM, won against Lenny, won against Isko, won against Lacson, and all other candidates. Hindi maapektuhan ang boto ng iba.